There is a place inside you that has been listening since before you had words, a quiet chamber behind your thoughts where every sigh, every fear, every secret hope has been carefully recorded like grooves on a hidden record. It has never argued with you, never debated, never contradicted. It has only said, yes, let it be so, to whatever you deeply, persistently, emotionally accept as true. Tonight, as you listen, we are not merely sharing ideas. We are walking together into that inner chamber, into the silent workshop of your life, where unseen hands have been shaping circumstances, relationships, health, and destiny. This is not the outer world of noise and opinions. This is the inner world of causes, the mental factory where your future is being assembled piece by piece. You may not have been told this, but you live in two worlds at once. One is the visible world of bodies, bank accounts, diagnoses, and headlines. The other is the invisible world of thoughts, images, and feelings, the world that Joseph Murphy devoted his life to revealing, the world of the subconscious mind. Whatever you call it, this inner realm is like a vast spiritual power plant, humming quietly beneath the surface, generating the currents that become your experiences. Most people walk through life as if their thoughts are harmless, as if their inner conversations have no weight. Yet every thought clothed in feeling becomes a kind of electromagnetic signature, a subtle broadcast into a responsive universe. What you hold as true in the depths of emotion is what your subconscious takes as a command. The subconscious does not speak in words. It speaks in images, in atmospheres, in the emotional tones of your days and nights. When you say, "I am always unlucky," and feel the heaviness of defeat, you are not simply complaining, you are programming. When you say, "Things always work out for me," and feel the quiet assurance of that statement, you are not merely hoping, you are issuing a creative instruction to the silent engine of your life. This is the law that has been operating since before you heard of it. The inner world creates the outer world, not in a simplistic way, but in a profound, continuous, lawful way. Your subconscious is like a fertile garden, and every day you sow seeds in it, seeds of fear, seeds of faith, seeds of resentment, seeds of forgiveness. The soil does not argue about which seeds you drop. It faithfully grows what you plant. You see, there is a divine intelligence that flows through every cell of your body, every thought of your mind. This intelligence is not far from you. It is not locked in an ancient temple or reserved for saints. It is the very life that beats your heart, heals your wounds, digests your food, and orchestrates billions of cellular processes without your conscious control. When you cut your finger, you do not sit up all night telling your white blood cells where to go. Something within you knows what to do. Joseph Murphy called this the inner doctor, the healing presence within. Modern science speaks of homeostasis, cellular repair, the immune system. Dissolve the fear, the shame, the limitation at their roots in my subconscious. Replace them with clarity, courage, and love. I consent to this change. I allow this change. I expect this change. Feel the quiet authority in those words. You are not pleading with an external power. You are giving permission to the power that has always been within. Throughout the days and nights that follow, you will inevitably forget at times. Old reactions will arise. That is all right. Each time you remember, you simply come back. You notice the thought, feel the emotion, acknowledge it, and then choose again. This is the path, imperfect, human, holy, of reprogramming the subconscious. You are not trying to become a different person. You are learning to reveal the deeper self that has been buried under layers of conditioning. You begin to live with a new inner attitude. My subconscious mind is my ally. It listens to me. It responds to me. I will speak to it with respect. You no longer allow yourself the luxury of casual self-condemnation. You do not call yourself stupid, unlucky, or cursed. You do not rehearse worst-case scenarios for entertainment. You understand that every word about yourself is a seed, every image a blueprint, every feeling a command. So you choose carefully, not out of fear, but out of reverence for the power you wield. As this understanding deepens, your relationship with life itself changes. You no longer see spiritual law as something that might work if you are worthy enough. You see it as the way things already are. You no longer feel cut off from divine intelligence. You feel it as the breath in your lungs, the clarity in your moments of insight, the peace that comes when you surrender an old burden. The outer world may still present challenges, but you face them with a different posture. Instead of reacting from panic, you pause and go within. You ask, that belief in me is being shown here. What thought has been operating? And then you work at that level, adjusting the inner pattern through prayer, visualization, emotional alchemy, and substitution. Gradually, a new identity crystallizes. You are not merely someone trying to fix problems. You are a conscious co-creator with the infinite. Your subconscious is no longer a mysterious force sabotaging you. It is a powerful servant learning to follow higher instructions. You feel less at war with yourself, more in cooperation. This inner harmony radiates outward. People feel it in your presence, a calm, grounded energy that needs no loud declaration. Without realizing it, you become a living demonstration of what happens when a human being aligns their inner world with spiritual law. The secret to healing, to transformation, to genuine abundance has never been outside you. It has always been woven into the structure of your being. It is in the way your thoughts imprint your nervous system, the way your feelings influence your body, the way your beliefs orient your perception to certain possibilities over others. It is in the silent agreement your subconscious makes with whatever you repeatedly affirm, visualize, and emotionally accept. This secret is simple but not shallow. As within, so without. Now, as this stream of words comes gently to a close, feel again that quiet chamber within you, the place that has been listening all along. Know that even as you have heard these ideas with your conscious mind, your subconscious has been taking notes, registering the tone of hope, the images of healing, the feeling of possibility. You can choose from this moment onward to continue this conversation with yourself. Before you sleep, you can speak kindly to your inner mind. Upon waking, you can declare the kind of day you intend to experience. In moments of difficulty, you can pause and turn inward, remembering that the real work is always in the invisible. You do not need to do everything at once. Begin where you are. Choose one area of your life, one old belief, one emotional pattern, and begin to work with it through prayer, visualization, and substitution. Be patient with yourself. Seeds take time. Neural pathways take time. Subconscious patterns take time. Yet time is on your side when you align with truth. Each day, each night, you are either reinforcing old limitations or installing new, liberating patterns. Choose, as often as you can, to install the latter. The creative power is already within you, not partially, not conditionally, but fully. It has been waiting for your conscious partnership. As you walk forward from here, remember this one simple, profound truth. Transformation does not begin in circumstances. It begins in consciousness. When you change the way you think, feel, and believe at the deepest levels, you change the blueprint your subconscious is following. And when the blueprint changes, the structure of your life must, sooner or later, rearrange itself to match. Let these words settle now like gentle rain into the soil of your inner mind. You may forget the phrases, but the essence remains. You are not powerless. You are not alone. There is infinite intelligence coursing through you, responding to your every thought and emotion. Treat that power with reverence. Work with it in silence and sincerity. And as you do, you will discover what sages and scientists, mystics and healers have whispered for ages. The secret to healing, to peace, to abundance has been inside you all along. Yet behind those terms is a mystery. The body is guided by patterns of information, and those patterns are deeply influenced by the mind. Every sustained emotional state sends biochemical signals throughout your system. Chronic fear, resentment, and hopelessness bathe your cells in stress hormones, narrowing your perception and freezing creative possibilities. Quiet confidence, gratitude, and inner peace send a different message through your nervous system, softening muscle tension, opening perception, and allowing higher-order thinking. Neuroscientists call this neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to reorganize itself based on repeated experience. But long before the word existed, spiritual teachers spoke of the same truth. As you repeatedly think and feel in certain ways, you carve mental pathways like trails through a forest. Walk the same trail again and again, and it becomes easier, more automatic. Your subconscious programming is nothing more than those deeply worn trails, some leading to peace, some leading to suffering. Consider for a moment a man named Arun. He lives in a crowded city surrounded by noise, screens, and obligations. From the outside he appears ordinary, but inside his mind plays a relentless movie: failure, rejection, loss. As a child he heard, "Money is hard to get, people can't be trusted, life is a struggle." Those words fell into his subconscious like seeds, repeated with emotional intensity. Years later, whenever he looks at his bank account, his chest tightens. He feels the familiar cocktail of fear and shame. His subconscious, loyal and literal, hears these feelings as commands: scarcity, danger, struggle. In response, it narrows his awareness, blinds him to opportunities, and draws his attention to problems. The outer events of his life begin to mirror what he inwardly expects. And so he says, "You see, I was right. Life is hard." He does not realize he has been both author and reader of the same story. Now, consider a woman named Maya. She receives a diagnosis that shakes her. The words of the doctor land in her mind like sharp stones: chronic, incurable, progressive. Her body responds with cold, tight fear. For days she repeats the phrases in silence, imprinting her subconscious with images of decline. Every ache becomes proof, every symptom a confirmation. Yet within her is another possibility, another script. One day, exhausted from fear, she sits quietly and whispers, "There is a healing power within me. It knows how to restore. It knows the way." At first the words feel fragile, almost unbelievable, but she continues. Each night before sleep she repeats, "The divine intelligence that made my body knows how to heal it. Every cell listens to this instruction of peace." Over time, something begins to soften. Her breathing slows. Her nervous system shifts. Her subconscious, ever listening, begins to accept this new pattern of feeling. While we do not claim that every disease instantly vanishes, we can say this: when the inner atmosphere changes, the body and life conditions often rearrange themselves in surprising ways. Sometimes health improves, sometimes strength, courage, and unexpected solutions appear. The inner doctor has been invited to work with more freedom. This is the essence of scientific prayer: not begging, not pleading, but aligning the mind with a deeper truth and holding it steady until the subconscious accepts it as fact. Prayer, in this sense, is not a religious ritual. It is a precise mental process. You take your attention off appearances and place it on the desired state as if it were already accomplished. You speak to your subconscious in the language it understands: repetition, feeling, imagery. You do not argue with conditions. You address the cause behind them, your mental blueprint. You declare calmly and with conviction, "Infinite intelligence within me is now guiding me, healing me, prospering me." You allow yourself to feel the reality of those words, not as a distant hope, but as something unfolding now. When doubt arises, you do not wrestle with it. You simply and quietly substitute a new thought, like changing the slide in a projector. This is the law of substitution. The subconscious cannot hold two opposing ideas with equal intensity at the same time. The one you nourish, the one you return to with feeling, is the one that prevails. Think of your mind as a great mental reservoir feeding thousands of tiny streams that flow into every area of your life. Some streams are clear and sparkling, carrying thoughts of worthiness, possibility, and peace. Others are muddy, carrying memories of rejection, shame, and fear. You may try to purify the outer streams, changing jobs, relationships, cities, but if the reservoir remains polluted with old beliefs, new circumstances will still taste of the same bitterness. Transformation begins when you clear the reservoir, when you pour into it thoughts aligned with truth, love, and possibility. This is not denial of difficulty. It is the conscious choice to feed the deeper law that governs outcomes. Belief is the law of life. What you accept as true in your heart becomes the pattern the subconscious follows. Modern science shows us that the brain is an electrochemical organ. Thoughts generate measurable electrical activity. Feelings shape your heart rhythms. Combined, they create an energetic pattern, like a vibrational signature. You are, in a very real sense, broadcasting who you believe you are and what you expect from life. The subconscious is tethered to this broadcast. When you see yourself as small, unworthy, doomed to repeat the past, your subconscious quietly arranges perception and behavior to match that self-concept. When you begin to see yourself as part of a larger intelligence, as worthy of guidance, healing, and abundance, your subconscious receives new instructions. It begins to select different interpretations of events, attract different people, and generate new impulses within you. The outer world responds, not because of some vague magic, but because perception, behavior, and opportunity are all filtered through the programs you run within. Every night, when you drift toward sleep, a sacred doorway opens. The mind moves from the alert, analyzing state into a slower rhythm, like a deepening river. In these moments, your conscious mind becomes drowsy, less critical. The subconscious stands at the threshold, more open to suggestion. Joseph Murphy taught a profound method here, the sleeping method, the art of nighttime programming. Before sleep, instead of replaying worries, you gently imprint the subconscious with the state you wish to experience. If you desire healing, you lie quietly and repeat with feeling, "Every cell of my body is tuned to the rhythm of divine health. I sleep in peace, and I wake restored." If you desire harmony in relationships, you affirm, "Divine love goes before me tomorrow, preparing the way for kindness, understanding, and joy." You do not force the words. You let them drift through you like a lullaby. You imagine briefly and vividly the desired outcome already real. Then you release it and sink into sleep. As you sleep, your subconscious continues its work like a tireless factory operating in the dark. It sorts impressions, consolidates memories, and integrates emotional experiences. When you have fed it seeds of peace and possibility, it works on those seeds too, finding ways to express them in behavior, insight, and circumstance. You may wake with a new idea, a subtle change in feeling, a conversation that unfolds differently than it would have. The sleeping method is not superstition. It is applied neuroplasticity, the deliberate use of those moments when the mind is most receptive to create new pathways and associations. Instead of letting random worries be the last impression of the day, you choose a divine blueprint and gently place it in the hands of your inner mind. Now, notice something essential. The subconscious mind responds to emotional intensity, not to struggle or force. Many people try to change their lives by pushing and straining. They repeat affirmations like someone pounding on a locked door. They say, "I am wealthy," while feeling lack. "I am healthy," while imagining decline. "I am loved," while rehearsing rejection. The subconscious listens not to the words, but to the emotional charge behind them. If the dominant feeling is fear or disbelief, those become the true command. Real transformation is not about shouting new statements over old feelings. It is about gently shifting the feeling itself. This is emotional alchemy, the art of transforming inner states. When a heavy emotion arises, like fear, jealousy, or resentment, it is not a sign that you are failing. It is raw material. Just as a chemist uses base metals to produce gold, you use the energy of difficult emotions to awaken deeper truths. You might sit with your fear and say, "I feel you. You are trying to protect me. Thank you." but I am guided by a greater wisdom now. You breathe into the sensation, allowing it to soften, and then you introduce a new feeling, perhaps the memory of a time when you felt safe, loved, supported. You dwell on that memory until the body responds. Shoulders relax, breath slows, heart steadies. In that moment, you are not suppressing the old emotion. You are transforming its energy into a higher pattern. The subconscious takes note. This organism can move from fear to trust, from tension to peace. Each time you do this, you are wiring a new possibility, strengthening a new neural pathway, teaching your inner mind that peace is available and safe. The law of substitution becomes your daily companion. When an old thought arises, "I always fail," "nothing ever works out for me," you do not argue endlessly with it. Instead, you gently replace it with a chosen statement that carries more truth. "I am learning. Life is guiding me. Things are unfolding for my highest good, even when I cannot see it." At first, the new thought may feel weak, like a small candle in a large, dark room. But each repetition, especially when accompanied by even a small feeling of relief, adds power to it. You are, in effect, changing the script that your subconscious has been following. Silence and secrecy play a delicate yet powerful role here. When a new desire is born in you, healing, love, creative work, abundance, it is like a seed planted in tender soil. If you speak of it too quickly, especially to those steeped in fear and limitation, their doubts and skepticism can fall upon your seed like a cold wind. They do not intend harm, but their words carry emotional weight. Your subconscious, always listening, may waver. That is why the ancient wisdom and Joseph Murphy's teachings alike emphasize this principle. Keep your deepest intentions sacred in their early stages. Let them grow roots in the silence of your own conviction. Treat your desires like embryos of destiny, incubated in the warmth of your feeling, nourished by quiet prayer, visualization, and inner agreement. Visualization is a simple yet profound tool. Your mind is a projector, and your subconscious is the screen on which images are etched. When you close your eyes and see yourself already living the reality you desire, you are created. Nang, a mental blueprint. The subconscious takes this as instruction, especially when the image is coupled with genuine feeling. If you seek healing, you visualize yourself moving with ease, breathing freely, laughing with energy. If you seek financial harmony, you picture yourself paying bills calmly, giving generously, feeling thankful. A few moments of clear, emotionally charged imagery can accomplish more than hours of anxious thinking. Your brain does not fully distinguish between vividly imagined experiences and physical ones. The same neural circuits light up, the same emotional pathways engage. In this way, visualization is both spiritual practice and neurological training. You are rehearsing the state you wish to inhabit until it feels familiar, natural, and safe to your subconscious. There is another dimension to this law. The subconscious mind is always listening, not just to your spoken words, but to your inner commentary, your silent stories. It listens when you wake and say, "Another exhausting day," and it arranges your perception to find exhaustion. It listens when you look in the mirror and think, "I am aging badly," and it aligns your posture, your energy, your expression with that expectation. It listens when you quietly whisper, "I am supported. Life is with me. Something good is unfolding," and it begins searching for evidence of that. This is why it is so vital to become the guardian of your inner language. You may not control every passing thought, but you can choose which ones you nurture with attention and emotion. Imagine your thoughts as visitors knocking at the door of your mind. Some arrive carrying gifts, ideas of kindness, courage, possibility. Others arrive carrying burdens, memories of hurt, predictions of doom, images of failure. You cannot stop all visitors from appearing, but you can decide who may come in, who may stay, who may sit at the table and share a meal with you. The thoughts you entertain, rehearse, and emotionally embrace become tenants in the house of your consciousness. The subconscious, like a loyal servant, takes notes on which tenants are given the best rooms. Those become the patterns it enshrines and expresses in your life. Let us return to Aaron for a moment. One evening, Weary from the strain of his financial worries, he hears about the power of the subconscious. At first he is skeptical. Life has taught him to expect disappointment, but something in him is tired of the old story. That night, instead of scrolling through worries on his phone, he sits quietly in the dim light and places a hand on his heart. He whispers, "There is a part of me that has been accepting fear as truth, but there is also a deeper intelligence in me. I choose to trust that." He begins a simple scientific prayer. "Infinite intelligence that sustains this universe sustains me too. I am guided to right action. I am provided for in expected and unexpected ways. I release this fear and accept peace now." He repeats the words slowly, allowing each phrase to sink in. As he does, his breathing gradually slows. The knot in his chest loosens slightly. He does this each night. Some evenings, doubts scream loud. On those nights he does not fight the doubts. He notices them and gently returns to his chosen statements. He imagines himself briefly paying his bills with ease, laughing with friends, telling a story of how things turned around. Weeks pass. Outwardly, nothing dramatic happens at first. Inwardly, everything is shifting. He begins to notice small opportunities he overlooked before. A conversation leads to a side project. A forgotten skill becomes relevant. Costs he feared turn out lower than expected. His actions change subtly. He feels more worthy of asking for fair payment, more grounded in negotiations. The subconscious, which once marched faithfully under the banner of "I never have enough," now has a new banner. "Life supports me. I am capable. Things can improve." The mental factory has begun producing different outcomes because it has been given a different blueprint. This is not a fairy tale. It is the quiet revolution that takes place when belief shifts. Your subconscious is not against you. It has simply been following the instructions derived from old beliefs, old emotional imprints. Many of those were formed when you were too young to question them. The tone in a parent's voice, the tension in a household, the repeated phrase, "We can't afford that," the subtle message, "You're not good enough," these became early programs. Your subconscious, like a child, accepted them as truth. Now, as an adult, you have the privilege and responsibility to revise those programs, not by fighting the past, but by installing higher truths in the present. Modern cognitive science tells us that we rarely see reality as it is. We see it as our brain predicts it will be. These predictions are based on prior experiences and the emotional weight tied to them. In other words, your subconscious patterns are filters through which you interpret life. Change the filters and life looks different. Change the expectations and behavior shifts, making new outcomes more likely. In spiritual language we say, change your inner state and your outer world reconfigures to match it. In psychological language we speak of cognitive restructuring, emotional regulation, somatic integration. In metaphysical terms we say, your vibrational frequency changes and the quantum field of possibilities responds differently. Your body holds the echoes of your past emotions, tight shoulders, shallow breathing, a clenched jaw. These are not random. They are part of a physical script written by the subconscious. When you begin to work with your subconscious, you do not ignore the body. You include it. You may place a hand on your chest and say, "I am safe now." You may lengthen your exhale, signaling to your nervous system that the danger has passed. As the body relaxes, the subconscious receives a new message. We are allowed to feel peace. Somatic healing, then, is a doorway into subconscious reprogramming. By shifting the body's responses, you open space for new thoughts and feelings to be accepted. One evening, as you prepare for sleep, you can turn your entire night into a healing ceremony of consciousness. You dim the lights, reduce the noise, and for a few moments you treat your mind as sacred ground. Instead of saying, "I am so stressed," you say, "This day is over. I release it now." You lie down, close your eyes, and speak inwardly, perhaps in this way: "Subconscious mind, faithful servant, inner doctor, infinite intelligence within me, I speak to you now. I am grateful for all you have done to keep me alive, to keep my heart beating, my lungs breathing. Tonight I give you new instructions. I choose peace. I choose healing. I choose to align with the divine pattern of health, abundance, and love that already exists within me. As I sleep, reorganize my thoughts, dissolve the old fear-based patterns, and strengthen the pathways of trust, confidence, and serenity. Guide me to insights, people, and opportunities that reflect this inner choice. You then visualize for just a minute or two yourself waking in the morning feeling refreshed. You see yourself stepping into the day with a sense of quiet purpose. You feel the relief of it as if it were already so. Then you let go. You do not analyze how it will happen. You allow the inner factory to take the blueprint and go to work. This is the sleeping method in action, nighttime programming through chosen thoughts, feelings, and images. There is a dignity and power in treating your mind this way. You no longer see yourself as a victim of random thoughts. You recognize that your mind is a spiritual garden, and you have been given the role of gardener. Weeds may appear, that is natural, but you are no longer surprised or discouraged. You gently pull them out by replacing them with chosen plants. When resentment arises, you practice emotional alchemy by introducing forgiveness, not as a feeling you must force, but as a direction you choose. I release this person to the care of a higher wisdom. I refuse to let this memory poison my inner life. When self-doubt appears, you substitute it with a deeper statement. I may not know how yet, but something in me is capable, guided, and supported. As you do this consistently, you begin to sense something profound. You are not your passing thoughts. You are the awareness that chooses which thoughts to embrace. You are not your temporary feelings. You are the deeper presence that can transform them. This realization is the beginning of sovereignty, the recognition that the creative power is within you, not in the opinions of others, not in the headlines, not in the ghosts of your past. Divine intelligence is not an abstract concept. It is that in you which knows the next step when you quiet the noise. It is that subtle nudge to call someone, to take a walk, to rest, to say yes, to say no. The more you align your inner speech with trust in this intelligence, the clearer its guidance becomes. You might find yourself saying, "Life is on my side. Something within me knows what to do." This is not wishful thinking. It is a deliberate shift from fear-based prediction to cooperation with a larger order. When you hold a new self-image in mind, one of wholeness, peace, abundance, you are broadcasting a new electromagnetic pattern. Over time, your subconscious records this as the new normal. Old identity statements like "I am broken," "I am unlucky," "I am always anxious" begin to lose their grip. In their place, you install truths like, "I am learning to live from peace," "I am guided and provided for," "I am worthy of love and respect." The outer world may initially resist. People are accustomed to your old patterns. But as your inner conviction grows, circumstances gradually reorganize. Some relationships fall away, new ones appear, old opportunities close, new doors open. It is as if the script of your life is being revised in real time because the author, you, has awakened. You do not need to force this awakening. You only need to turn inward with sincerity again and again, like returning to a sacred well. Each time you choose a higher thought, each time you practice forgiveness, each time you soothe your body and speak kindly to yourself, you drop another seed into the soil of the subconscious. Seeds do not sprout the moment they are planted. They germinate in darkness. So it is with your inner work. There may be days when you see no outer change. Trust that the roots are growing. Continue to nourish them with quiet faith, scientific prayer, and visualization. In time, you realize that spiritual law is not remote or mystical. It is as dependable as gravity. The law is this: what you accept as true in your inner world, especially with feeling, tends to externalize in your outer world. When you live in constant fear, you notice and amplify threats. When you live in a state of expectation for good, you notice and amplify blessings. The universe is like a great echo chamber, returning to you the tone you send into it. So now, as this journey of words winds toward its inner center, let us turn from theory to direct inner contact. Take a slow, gentle breath. As you exhale, let your shoulders drop slightly. Allow your face to soften. Feel the weight of your body supported by the surface beneath you. For a moment, forget the details of your problems. Set aside the to-do lists, the unfinished conversations, the unsolved puzzles. You are not ignoring them forever. You are simply placing them on a shelf while you attend to the place from which solutions arise. Bring your attention to the area of your heart. You may even place a hand there.